Hello, little ones. It's Gigi, and today I'm going to read to you Ada Twist, Scientist. And this is by Andrea Beatty and illustrated by David Rogers. Ada Twist, Scientist. So let's begin. Ada Marie, said not a word till the day she turned 3. She bounced in her crib and looked all around, observing the word, but not making a sound. She learned how to climb and made her big break with a trail of chaos left in her wake. She ran through the day, chasing each sound in sight, and did not slow down till she conked out at night. Oh my, let's look at Ada and her world. Look how high she climbed up there. Look all the chaos that she left behind. Her parents were frazzled, but tried not to freak as Ada grew bigger and still did not speak. Clearly, young Ada, with lots in her head, would have something to say when it ought to be said. So again, her parents, look at them. They were frazzled because Ada was not talking, but look at her. She was curious. Look at her looking at and examining her toys. That's just what happened. When Ada turned 3, she tore through the house on a fact-finding spree and climbed up the clock just as high as she could. Her parents yelled, "Stop!" As good as all good parents would. And Ada's chin quivered, but she did not cry. She took a big breath and simply asked, "Why?" Oh my, what is Ada on top of? Is that a big clock? Why does it tick? Why does it talk? Why don't we call it a granddaughter clock? Why are there pointy things stuck to a rose? Why are there hairs up inside your nose? She started with why and then what, how and when. By bedtime she came back to why once again. She drifted to sleep as her dazed parents smiled at the curious thoughts of their curious child, who wanted to know what the world was about. They kissed her and whispered, "You'll figure it out." So look at Ada and all the different places and all the things she's been thinking about. And she began to speak and ask questions. Her parents kept up with their high-flying child, whose questions and chaos both grew as she did. See all the questions she's asking? The parents are trying to keep up with her. Even Miss Greer found her hands were quite full when young Ada's chaos wreaked havoc at school. But this much was clear about Miss Ada Twist. She had all the traits of a great scientist. Oh, looks like they're having fun at school. Look at all those colors. Can you name the colors that are shooting out of those bottles? Ada was busy that first day of spring, testing the sounds that make mockingbirds sing. when a horrible stench wrapped right in her nose, a pungent aroma that curled up her toes. Zowie, said Ada, which got her to thinking, what is the source of that terrible stinking? How does a nose know there's something to smell, and does it still stink if there's no nose to tell? She rattled off questions, tapped on her chin. She started at the start, where she ought to begin. A mystery, a riddle, a puzzle, a quest. This was the moment that Ada loved best. She's outside, and look at her. That's where she got that smell. So now she wants to know where that smell came from. Ada did research to learn all she could of smelling and smells, both stinky and good. One hypothesis Ada thought could be true. The stink came from Dad's cabbage stew. She tested and tested, but soon Ada knew it was time to come up with hypothesis 2. So I guess it wasn't that stinky cabbage stew her daddy made. Then zowie! The stink struck again, and just like that, hypothesis 2, it was caused by the cat. The cat couldn't make such a stink on its own. It needed perfume and some fancy cologne. So young Ada tested. The test was a flop. She started again, but her parents said stop. Oh my, why did her parents say stop? Where was she trying to put the cat? Yes, that is a definite no. Ada Marie, to the thinking chair now. By the time we count to 3. Enough, said her mother. That's it, said her dad. Her parents were frustrated, frazzled, and mad. Why? Ada questioned. Her mother said no. What? Ada queried. And her father said, go. You've ruined our supper. You made the cat stink. Enough with your questions. Now sit there and think. She looked at her parents. Her heart turned to goo. Poor Ada Twist didn't know what to do. Uh-oh. So all this, her poor parents were frustrated, upset, and mad, and Ada had to go to the thinking chair. How do you think she was feeling? She sat all alone by herself in the hall, and Ada once more could say nothing at all. Oh, look at poor Ada. So Ada sat, and she sat, and she sat, and she thought about science and the stew and the cat and how experiments made such a big mess. Does it have to be so? Is that all part of success? Our mess is a problem. And while she was thinking, what was that source of that terrible stinking? Ada Marie did what scientists do. She asked a small question, and then she asked 2. And each of those led to 3 questions more, and some of those questions resulted in 4. As Ada got thinking, she really dug in. She scribbled her questions and tapped on her chin. She started at why, and then what, how, and when. And at the end of the hall, she reached why once again. Uh-oh, she just couldn't sit there and think. All her questionings came up, and so she had to write them down. And where was she writing them? Oh my, how do you think her parents are going to react? Let's turn the page and find out. Her parents calmed down and they came back to talk. They looked at the hallway and just had to gawk. No patch of bare paint could be seen on the wall. The thinking chair now was the great thinking hall. They watched their young daughter and sighed as they did. What would they do with this curious kid who wanted to know what the world was about? They smiled and whispered, "We'll figure it out." Yeah, so her parents realized this was just part of Ada. So they had to figure out what to do to help their curious kid. And that's what they did, because that's what you do when your kid has a passion and a heart that is true. They remade their world, and now they're all in the act of helping young Ada sort fiction from fact. She asked lots of questions. How could she resist? It's all in the heart of a young scientist. Oh, that is so beautiful. The whole family was helping Ada figure it out. And as for the smell, what can Ada Twist do but learn all she can with her friends in grade 2? Will they discover the stink that curled toes? Well, that is the question. And someday, who knows? There is Ada and all her friends. All right, the end. Again, that was Ada Twist, Scientist. And so I want you to go back and think about all the things that you're curious about and start asking questions why and try to figure things out. All right, bye-bye. I'll see you next time.